All right, this one is for you, dear Sagittarius. This is Tarot Lumination with your general report for the January 2018 season. Okay, so, Happy New Year, of course, obviously. Thank you for choosing Tarot Lumination. And let's get on with it. Cards were well shuffled in advance, but we're going to the last second so that you're a witness. No jumpers, no flyers, no oracles, no reversals. Not enough time, room, or space for all of that. So Sagittarius, the big season is over for you. You're probably aware of it. Let me just get the little charts. Hold on, stay there. It's been a kind of time. So we've just come out of this massive Sagittarius new moon over here at the end of December 2017. And that's farewell to a very long cycle, the last 2.5 years or so for you, Sagittarius. Saturn has now left your sign and it's moving into Capricorn. Okay, that would be, put it like this, okay, if that's you on the horizon there. Saturn is moving into your second house of value and values, money, worth, self-worth, talent, skills, gifts, all of that. So there's going to be big, big changes coming up in that part of your life. And this whole sector here about Saturn pounding on you for the last few years, it's over. Okay? So next time around, it'll be about 29, 30 years from now. Okay? So you're kind of clear. Next, of course, we've got this massive, massive Capricorn new moon. Oh my gosh. It's a monster. The middle of the month, middle of January, and it's going to touch you right here. Okay? Just like we said. Okay, so big shifts, big changes coming for you, Sagittarius, in that part of your life. Okay, so there you go. Okay, that's the astrology, a little micro, mini, super micro astrological footnote here to your reading. So, and it's the same for everybody. Okay, this big Capricorn new moon thing happening in the month of January, it's a big deal for everybody. And of course, Saturn is moving into Capricorn. Whoa, oh no. 3 years, people. Okay, anyway, calm down, Tarot Lumination, calm down. Let's get serious now. Okay, you know the drill. Watch for your sun, moon, and rising. Reinterpret at will. Use your imagination and tell the full story back to yourself. And do your cross-watching too. I know some of you guys love to do that. So anyway, here we go. I'm really, really trying to break up the deck here. Okay. Wow, that was a very extreme cut. Excuse me. There's only a couple cards at that last bit there. So anyway, this is the core heart energy of you. The very pulsing center. May not even have any language to it, but it is there, beating one beat at a time. This is legacy energy, your baggage, your past, your history, whatever it is you're bringing in with you in what we call this phenomenon of time. Okay, and here we are in the present. This is a snapshot, moment by moment, going through the month of what we call January, this time thing, the ever-present now. Okay, and it's in the now where you own all your power, you make all your decisions. Okay, this is the energy of decisions here. So you start to see we're moving forward. This is a journey, and you start to realize, oh my gosh, we have this thing called past, present, and future. And in your new higher conscious awareness, Sagittarius, you've figured that out over the last 2.5, 3 years. So well done, but it never stops. The learning never stops. So here's where we make the decisions. And here is about making the decisions that work. How are we going to make the most loving decisions, Sagittarius, that are about loving you first, because that's what's best for everybody, okay? I know it sounds counterintuitive, very selfish, egomaniacal, or whatever, but it's not, okay? Deep self-love is very, very important for all of us to learn, because we're not taught this, okay? Nobody teaches this. So when you're making decisions, how are you going to make the most loving decisions? And over here, because you're a wise person, Sagittarius, you understand that your decision-making processes are what is crucial to your evolution. And, you know, if you think that life comes at you and then you have to react, then this will feel like fate. Otherwise, this would be more like consequence. of you taking charge and ownership. Over here is the energy of what if. While you're in the position of decision making, you are anticipating the land of opportunity, the unknown in front of you, and you make your decision. What if you mess up with the decision? Oh no. What if you do a good job with your decisions? Oh yeah. Okay, same card, but reciprocal inverse energy for each one. This would be the prospects. Like, where does this all take us? What does this all mean? Under here, of course, is the weather. It's circumstantial energy, and like all folks, you Sagittarius are going to make the best of it. Okay, make the best of this energy. Okay, you have, whoa, okay, the Magician. All right, very nice to have there. An indication that it's very, very important. My feeling right now for you, Sagittarius, is grasping hold of the energy of this big, fat new moon that just happened at the end of December and running with it. Just like, oh my gosh, this is your moment now, Sagittarius, to make the very best of this very last moment in the very last closing scenes of this chapter of this Sagittarius movie that you've been living through for the last 2.5, 3 years, okay? And taking all the good stuff with you and like maximizing your power to manifest and be who you really are. It is your time to bring it down to earth. That second house Capricorn energy is like, let's lock this down, Sagittarius. Let's make this real. Let's make this happen. So everything that you had to endure for the last few years makes sense and it's all worthwhile. Okay. So there's a lot at stake. But it's also understanding that you do have the resources now because you've lived through all of this and you've come out the other side, okay? A better, wiser Sagittarian. What's going on at the core pulsing heart of you, okay? First of all, let's acknowledge that's you, pumping, pumping, pumping each pulse of the heart. And this is the big picture over here, okay? And this is the journey over here, okay? Every heartbeat. So at the core, it might feel like you've just got through this whole thing in the last few years, like, whew, made it. It's amazing. I actually got through that. Wow. Whew. Oh, I don't know how I did it, but I did. So you come out wiser, but also realizing, oh my gosh, a whole brand new cycle starts all over again. But it's okay, Sagittarius. It's the same for everybody. We're all starting from scratch again this January when it comes to the Saturn lessons. Wherever that part hits our life, that's where we start again with a brand new 3-year cycle. So you're coming in all charged up, innocent as you can be, starting again. It's just like you just finished college and now you're going on to get your master's, you know? It never stops. But the passion and the drive is there. The momentum is there to maximize your gifts and talents, your place in this world, your abilities in this world, your purpose in this world, your desire to have purpose and meaning and make it happen in this world, okay? And it's not just for you. This is tremendous capacity to manifest, you know, according to the word, your spoken word, understanding how you can bring in all that Sagittarian wisdom, even in this degree of innocence, and turn it into something quite profound, okay, that has value to yourself and to others, okay, that others value, okay, and it's infused with your passion and enthusiasm and let's just say a bit of innocence and naivety, which makes you human, okay, as opposed to like some kind of superior God type person. No, you're just like the rest of us, as innocent as all of us, okay? So that's good. I'm happy to see this here for you, Sagittarius. What are you bringing in? Mastery. We've had a few repeat cards already with the readings. So this is my feeling like, well done, Sagittarius. Well done. Well done. A life well lived. A journey well journeyed. Tasks endured. Tasks mastered. Rising to this level of, let's say, recognition, where like you own it, you've got it. You've got your credentials, you've got your skills, you've got your talents, and you're bringing all this in with you, fueled up by a new, like a whole new start, new enthusiasm. So it feels very supportive to me, going into this Capricorn energy, and Capricorn energy is really quite different from Sagittarian energy. So in the present moment now, what are we going to do? Let's have a look at us. Okay. So, wow. Queen of Pentacles right next to the Queen of Pentacles here. So it feels to me like it's like you're coming in with all of this. Okay. You've got these skills, these talents, these gifts, this bounty, this dignity, the mastery, the credentials, and the proof. Okay. The evidence is there, not just for yourself, but to others around you. So it puts you kind of in an awkward position, like, so what am I supposed to do with all that now? And that is, it's okay. It's okay to admit a degree of innocence, like I'm all fired up, but what am I going to do with it all? With the Queen of Pentacles here, there's so much talent available, so much wealth and abundance available to you. So it becomes, beholden to you to be very judicious and responsible and cautious and caring about how you expend your resources, including and there's no cups cards here, but the energy of love, because we can talk all day about universal love and like spread it all over the planet. And, Tarot Illumination is all about love and healing, and the Tarot Illumination Love Tribe. And you're fitting in here really nicely, Sagittarius. But the reality is we have to make decisions about what we do with our resources. Like, are you going to go off and have 13 children and discover it's actually hard to feed and raise 13 children? Or are you going to be judicious? I'm not judging people who have large families, but what I'm saying is like making decisions in the present moment, like realizing, wow, love is a resource. And if you want to stay up, have 2 hours sleep a night while you do all these amazing, wonderful things for the world, you're going to deplete your resources. So you have to make decisions about what to do with your resources, finding out who is ready, worthy, and able to receive your talents and gifts and resources, where you can share and it's reciprocal, where you can offer your great talents and skills in a way that is highly valued and that you are compensated and rewarded accordingly. And it's mutual. It's a mutually, let's say, supportive environment. But that can be quite difficult to find, It's all very well having all of this, but what do you do with it all? So let's talk about making the decisions. So with the King of Wands here, we're taking it to the max. Okay, this is really about coming into full mastery, where it's like having to live by example, and there's really kind of no way out of the situation, because like if you're owning let's say all your new levels of awareness, skills, masteries, and abilities properly, where to the point where you are married to yourself, where you can be like the official boss of you, and then you can like mitigate your own questions, pose your own questions, and answer your own questions from inside of you without needing an external authority for approval. That's a wonderful and amazing talent and gift to have that can be shared. And it takes you up to another level of mastery, where you are now obliged to share these gifts and talents, but in a very, very judicious, very magnanimous, but very well thought out way, so that this is not squandered. There is so much value here that you can't squander this. It's like there's a huge responsibility on your head here, Sagittarius, to what do you do with your wisdom, your newfound knowledge, skills, abilities, talents, and gifts, and the journey that's unfolding for you in your innocence. Like, despite all this splendor here, all this regal splendor, there's still at the very core of you a high degree of innocence as you start off in this new journey. I'm feeling this very closely associated with the Saturn and Capricorn cycle starting in January. And you're really going to feel it in that house of really serious, like nuts and bolts, down to earth reality. Like, how does this actually work in real life, as opposed to academic concepts and good wishes and aspirations and let's say, goals? What's the reality? So how do you make these kind of decisions where you maximize your skills, talents, and resources in a way that's the most loving for you, so that you will nurture yourself in such a way that you can become more and more valuable, which is the best thing that you can possibly do, because then you become more valuable to yourself and to others, and it's reciprocal. So how do we do that? Okay, my feeling is almost like to live by example, by openly expressing to the point where it's perfectly okay, even with this degree of, let's say, very evident sovereignty, very evident appearance, not just an appearance, but factual acknowledgement of your own awesomeness out there in the three-dimensional world, and admit at the same time that you don't know all the answers. Like if you knew all the answers to everything all the time, people wouldn't dig you. They would think, oh, you're just an arrogant so-and-so. Uh, but if you come in on the understanding that, yes, you've got to listen, you want to share, and it's a question of what are you going to do with all these resources, and there is a degree of innocence here, it's okay to be innocent and have the best of intentions, and let that be known in your expressions and the way that you make decisions outwardly and how that affects your world in such a way that it makes you real. It makes you human. In other words, like it's almost like bringing together a round table, like the knights of whatever, and making decisions in such a way where you bring all of your passions and desires and goals and gifts and talents together into like a funnel or a place where everything is examined, and then you figure out, well, what are we going to do with all of this? And you figure it out by open, let's say, passionate expression, without any apologies. Get it all out there on the table, and be willing to make mistakes again, because as you move forward through this new massive 3-year Saturn and Capricorn cycle, you're going to be challenged and tested on these energies here. How well are you going to live up to your integrity and the qualifications and skills and the talents that you have? Is it going to be all squandered? Are you going to exploit it for self-aggrandizement? Are you going to share it with the world and do something really magnificent with this stuff? And it's saying here to like go for it in a way where like you allow yourself to make mistakes, live in the passion, live in the flow, allow yourself to be a full-blown Sagittarian, be willing, be a human, accept your innocence at this new level, and then go for it anyway, living by example, knowing that you're being watched and observed and appreciated. But there's very few people who are going to have all these resources to go. So they're not going to judge you if you mess up now and again. They're going to be cheering you on. Okay. So where does that lead us in terms of consequence? Bringing it down to earth. Okay. With the Knight of Pentacles here, by like continuing to be a bold, brave Sagittarius type person, on the understanding that there's now serious responsibilities that go with this, and you're going to be tested in your values and what you value and how this comes down to earth, by being a genuine, true Sagittarius, knowing that you're going to go through these new tests where you're going to be tested to the maximum. You go for it with all your passion and heart in a way that's right for you. And in so doing, what happens is it's like that is your version of being the responsible farmer, being like in your own like fiery, exciting, passionate way. That's your version of taking care of business in very down-to-earth, long-term incremental ways that actually work for you and the community, the farm, the land, everybody. And it takes you, it's almost like it's almost like just making it fun, making it really exciting and fun to do something that's very serious. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Okay, so with all this, like, I don't want to say necessarily pressure, but with all this that is so much at stake here, what happens if you mess up in your decisions? Or what happens when you do make good, loving decisions? Okay. When you do make good, loving decisions that work for you and you kind of live it out by example in the way just we described here, it takes you to a place where if you're honest about it, it means it's like going back to here, let's like be truthful about it. It's a bit of a humbling experience to realize it's almost like we're starting all over again with a whole new humbling chapter of evolution in front of us, in front of you, Sagittarius, where all the splendor and everything, the glories that you've had to live through, and the pains and the war stories and how you made it and did it, and it's very wonderful and courageous and exciting, almost like being in a movie. It has to be left behind now. So when you make these really noble, considerate decisions that works for everybody, like being a really good king, a really good sovereign, it means having to leave behind, let's say, the innocence and the sweetness of what you knew as you face to these new levels of maturity where you are heading, okay? Higher standards, higher, where it's all coming down to earth in ways that work for you and the world around you, where you can still, not just still, but actually increase the respect that you receive from others by living by example at these very high levels of, let's say, sovereignty, where you become very visible. But the thing is, because you're starting on a new journey here, like this 3-year pattern, it might feel as though, well, where am I actually going? It's okay to listen to a Tarot Illumination report, but what the heck is actually going on here? The reality is you don't know, because you don't know. There's innocence. The whole point about evolving is facing into the unknown, making bold, brave decisions with a very considerate, thoughtful process, and then trusting, okay? Trusting in your like gut instincts to make it happen and work. Where does this take us? Okay, it's how you create your future. With the Wheel of Fortune here, you can see decision by decision, by making your decisions in this kind of way, where you take a look at the really big picture, like, wow, I do have so much to offer. This is a lot. With great power, great assets, great wealth comes great responsibilities. I'm going to do something amazing with it that works and makes sense for everybody. That's very practical. And it's almost like creating a really good like work environment or a good economic environment or a good social environment that works, not just for you, but for everybody, leaving behind redundant older patterns that you might have loved, but you've matured now, you're outgrowing that, and you're creating a whole new fortune in front of you. And all of the right now with this January thing, like with this big new moon, all let's say the fates, all the elements are with you. They're always with you, but I feel like it's really magnified right now. All the earth, air, fire, water, all the energy of heaven, all the healing power of love working through you as a conduit, but a very, very effective, capable, responsible, loving, passionate, well-intended conduit, even in your innocence as you grow and evolve in your own personal inner journey. It's it's kind of magnificent. That's how I feel. Okay. Don't get too carried away with this, but that's what I'm feeling here. Okay. So bravo, Sagittarius. Well done for getting through that last cycle, and more power to you on the next 3-year cycle with Saturn and Capricorn in your second house. Okay. Bravo. Make the best of it. Bye-bye. Oops, hold on. I want to leave this here for you. Sorry about that. Okay. Bye.